Hey everybody, thanks for coming back and checking out some riding footage as we take a break and learn some weird history. Not sure if it's history, but I wanted to look at American foods that were invented elsewhere. Foods that we always think are American. American like my Harley Davidson motorcycle, like the Softail Deluxe that you're watching me ride throughout New Mexico on this one. The first food that I often think of as American that actually isn't is fried chicken. It was actually introduced in the United Kingdom. I always think of fried chicken as a southern delicacy, and you see it everywhere from all these major fast food chains and all these other things. But fried chicken was actually found in 1747 in a cookbook that described the process of frying the battered chicken. Another record came from James Boswell's diary from 1773, and he essentially wrote that he found the chicken in Scotland. He talked about eating it. Now, fried chicken is delicious. Too bad it's not the healthiest thing for us. But my children love chicken nuggets, and hell, it might be the only food they eat sometimes. Another one, this one kind of bothered me, peanut butter. I always thought of peanut butter as being invented in America, and there's tons of different stuff with, now I'm blanking his name. But actually, Marcellus Edson in Canada was the one to have got credit for it. He actually was the first to have a patent done, and the patent was for peanut butter paste. Later on, Kellogg's or Dr. Kellogg also helped make and push peanut butter. But the one I was thinking of is George Washington Carver. I always thought that he was the inventor of peanut butter, but apparently he is not. Now, he did help spread peanut butter, not in that sense, but spread the idea of peanuts and how you can use it in all kinds of different ways, from clothing to food to glue even. But peanut butter was actually not invented in America. This next one, hang on to your American flags and your pride here, apple pie. Apple pie was not invented in America. In fact, it was invented in England. There's a recipe from 1381, that's 1381, that actually calls for pies with apples. They also talk about saffron, pears, and raisins in this. So, I mean, maybe this is one to think about, that of course pies were created elsewhere. This might have been a staple in food for a long time, and obviously it was if it's from 1381. I guess I never really thought about sweets being around then, but people have been loving pie since almost the beginning of time. This is one that would upset my wife because she is a huge fan of Starburst, but in fact they were invented in England. Starburst candy, they're not created in the US like I always had assumed, but in 1960 the UK released them as Opal Fruits, and then they got a new name when they came to the United States. The M&Ms created Fruit Chews and half shells, and then we know it now as Starburst. So a little history on that. That really did seem like an American candy to me. Often thinking about with summer and 4th of July, thinking about barbecues. What is that fruit dessert you eat? Watermelon. Watermelon is not actually from the United States. It was actually a melon that started growing in Africa. Now, this has been selected and bred to be more sweet, and they even have seedless watermelons now. But this sweet, delicious thing that I think of for summer, not actually American. Number 6, and I have one daughter that refuses to eat food except for chicken nuggets, and here's her next favorite food, macaroni and cheese. This seems like an American thing to me. So I feel like American food, we take other cultures and then we just add tons of cheese to it. And this one, I mean, if you were to guess where they originally found it, of course it's Italy. And Italy's known for all their pasta, but I never thought of it as being this major cheese kind of thing. But it was the first to have it. I guess that kind of makes sense. But I just assume that mac and cheese is an American thing, and we as Americans have sure made it into full-time restaurants, other dishes, and other bizarre things like that. Number 7, love it or hate it, mayonnaise. Mayonnaise seems like an American thing. I don't see other cultures talking about it or other countries, but it was actually invented on an island in Spain. This one I find just so wild. I also wonder how people come up with making things. Mayonnaise is just like a mixture of a bunch of random stuff, and then people love it. It's so bizarre to me. But I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the chef because if you can't tell, I barely can speak English at times, is what it seems like. But this what happened was someone lacked cream, and the chef that wanted to invent it, he made a sauce consisting of egg and oil, and he called it mayonnaise. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but he named it after the port there, and now it's became mayonnaise. It's one of these strange things that you love it or you hate it. Almost like pickles. People seem to like pickles or not. I think of a lot of cultures think of America as, like mentioned before, like the capital of sugary foods and sweets. And this one, I think I actually watched a video about this, but candy bars were not actually invented in America. This is another one from England. And in fact, the first one that they found was in 1847. 1847, Joseph Fry was credited as creating the first bar of chocolate. He talked about how to make a candy bar. It was more bittersweet than it was a sugary treat at the time, but that was the first one that then became kind of the basis and the push for creating these bars of chocolate that you could carry around and have delicious sweets. So thank you, Mr. Fry, for making my life so wonderful when I'm looking for a sweet, or when I do dad tax when it comes to Halloween time. I know that those call them fun size. I don't know what's so fun about miniature candies, but hey, I guess if you eat 12 of them, they're fun. Number 9, donuts. It says that they hail from the Netherlands or maybe Britain, but although these seem very American to me, and we make American shows about donuts and Americans loving them, they're not credited to it. There is actually one about a fried dough ball from 1667. That's 1667 from a Dutch cookbook. And a lot of people credit that cookbook as kind of the starting base for creating donuts. And this one was different about adding fruits, nuts, and spices to it. But it was kind of this fried ball that then transitioned to all these different ways, to celebrate Fat Tuesday, all these different stuff for Lent. And that the first colonists actually brought these to the United States. I gotta say, I love donuts. Everyone has their favorite. Mine has to be Dunkin'. I like them more bready, but Krispy Kreme's also delicious. I don't know a single person that doesn't like donuts, to be honest with you. I'm sure now in the comments someone's going to say that they don't like donuts. The next thing that I find total American is hamburgers. In fact, made in Germany. So surprising that one wasn't going to come back to the UK. But grilling hamburgers is always something that seems very American, a summery thing, a family thing outside, but it's actually from Hamburg, Germany. Probably hence the name on that. And there's a version of a hamburger which is chopped beef, which is essentially a beef patty. They served it with gravy, onions, and potatoes. But yeah, not American. So think about that. McDonald's and all the things that we think of like that, not. You know what else Germany created that I always think about with grilling too? Hot dogs. Hot dogs is not an American thing. And no, it's not made from John Hot Doggery, who created the first meat stick. Actually, it was from Germany. The last one that kind of fills that one up that I think about is French fries. French fries are actually Belgian. Belgian, I think in America we think of them as beer. I think of them as cyclocross, an amazing cyclo event. That probably made absolutely no sense, but it's like a mixture of road biking and mountain biking all together. But French fries are Belgian. So when you're enjoying that hamburger, hot dog, and French fries with a side of some watermelon or pie, now it's time to realize that it didn't start in America. Most of the foods in our country, I think they come from other countries. It's awesome that we have this melting pot that we get to experience so many different places and cultures and food. Sometimes we just got to sit back and enjoy it. Think back to where these come from. Think about all the ancestors that we have, and ancestors, that came over here and dedicated their lives to making America what it is now. If you are stuck eating the same kind of food, I encourage you to go out to something else. Maybe you've never had Mexican food, try it. Middle Eastern food, try it. Asian, Japanese, look for the closest ethnic type food in your area and give it a shot. enjoy some different stuff, and experience culture. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this break and learning a little bit with me.